About 100 kilometers north of Mumbai stands the holy mountain Mandagni. At the edge of the depleted teak forest below it, bordered by a tributary of the Tansa River and within walking distance of Ganeshpuri, a village that was the home of two world-famous gurus, is a 2.5-acre enterprise called the Earth is Our Mother Farm. It could be the answer to hunger and privation in India. The two Westerners who own the farm, Daniel and Karen, intend to create a model of small-scale, organic, sustainable agriculture that can be replicated throughout India. The couple hopes to use ancient farming practices to reclaim farmland that has been ravaged by modern chemical agricultural practices and stripped of topsoil for brick production. They intend to reintroduce native plants. They want to show how small farms can thrive year-round in a country that lurches between drought and monsoons. They want to aid the Adivasi, the Aboriginal people who traditionally lived and farmed in the forests, people now caught in a downward spiral of poverty. The forest abutting the farm is Adivasi land. Years ago, the Adivasi were brought to the area to cut down the trees for railroad ties. Like Native Americans, the Adivasi are recognized by the Indian Parliament as Aboriginal people, but they are marginalized by society. In families too poor to own goats or cows, Adivasi women poach wood from the already devastated forest. The Adivasi, Daniel says, once erected shrines in the forest. It disturbs him that the natural people of the land are now part of the threat. Adivasi farmers, meanwhile, have seemingly given up. Monsoons have not been as heavy in the past, and surface water dries up too quickly for crops to mature. A decades-long push by the government to emulate Western chemical farming practices has helped destroy family farming. Many farmers have abandoned their farms and committed suicide. Ironically, a new government grant program to help families of farmers who have killed themselves has led to more suicides. Many failed farmers are now making bricks from the very soil that was once their source of livelihood. Brick making in India requires little more than open space and the raw materials, straw, soil, coal, and firewood, and cheap labor. Brick companies move into an area, lease a bit of land for the operation, and begin stripping the topsoil for bricks. When their own topsoil is gone, they pay the desperate farmers for theirs. When that's gone, they hire the farmers to work in the brickyards. Their farms gone, the farmers move their families onto or nearby the brickworks, where the women and children work as well. The brick companies pay Adivasi for access to the protected forests. They haul away topsoil by the truckload, leaving the land completely depleted of biological nutrients as well as structural elements that enable the soil to absorb and retain water and nourish crops. When they've taken everything, the brick companies pick up and begin again elsewhere.
For some people, this has been the highlight of their trip. Riding on the Jeep.
1, 2, and 3.
Oh, yay!
Wow.
I can hold your drink,
And I'll go up and start the chai.
Put your shawl over your head, Taro. Lakshmi Taro is an experiment. It's supposed to grow on degraded land, and it produces a phenomenal amount of oil. So in 5 years' time, the idea is that this will be an oil fruit. So right now we're draining the reserves under the ground. So let's provide the prosperity for the tribal people by planting, if this works, that they can provide the oil from above the ground through a tree like this. They don't hardly need to do anything. So okay, just stand in the shade with Elsie, so it's a bit cooler. Just about 3 weeks ago or so, we bought this massive drill rig, and they drilled down 100 feet, no water. They drilled down another. They put the next piece of drill rig on, the next 50 feet, and it's
one piece left.
One piece left, and it was all a sort of, oh, can we afford it? Can we not? And then suddenly it had 3 feet to go, and there was, what happened? big
What happened in
explosion.
class this morning with the Coke bottle?
Yeah. Forest land, all owned by the forestry department. So we have the natural trees in the land are on this side, and the indigenous trees here are teak trees. So the ones that you can see with the big leaves, this one here, these, they're teak. Often they're poached. We heard a story from a friend of Barrett's who's been organic farming in the area for 20 years, that the teak trees were taken out in lorry loads, 200 rupees a lorry. A lot of clearing was done. Inside here is dal.
Oh, really?
So we're taking a complete integrated approach to farming, looking at the livingness of the soil with the worms and the microorganisms, and doing integrated companion planting. So the dal's just herb bed. So it just got planted yesterday, and that was their project, volunteering here. And and just a few weeks ago we found out he actually owns about 12 acres in the area, but wasn't using any of it, couldn't afford to. So
She was, he had experience in first aid and he helped us a lot. Even this is different.
Smile, please.
Say paneer.
Just in time.
Good plan into doing that. And so, because we have a lot of possibilities and support and some very good connections that could actually make something like this happen.
What are you going to do? You'll start to lose your... When word spread among the Adivasi that the farm was hiring, brick factory workers began to show up for jobs. The farm now has a paid staff of 3. Everyone else is a volunteer. A few months ago, they built a stone dam to slow runoff and recharge an aquifer beneath the farm. In December, they hired a rig to dig a well to guarantee a year-round supply of water. Early this year, they learned that a steel manufacturer seeks to buy 10 acres near the farm. There's also word that a motorcycle plant wants to locate nearby. Daniel and Karen worry that industrialization of the area will mean more impervious surface, more runoff, and more pollution, not to mention additional hardship for the local population. For every obstacle, Karen said, there's a way around, but we don't want to stop. The earth is our mother farmers trying to buy or lease nearby land to protect it, but it needs our help.
Oh, my ring, ring, jam, die,